First, though, a couple of months from now, a group of friends will gather on the beach in Poole to play touch rugby. If everything goes to plan, they'll stop playing about 34 hours later. They're trying to break the record for non-stop beach touch rugby. And they're doing it for their friend Andy Vaughan, who last year was diagnosed with motor neurone disease. Andy's an anaesthetist at Bournemouth Hospital, and he joins me now with his wife, Suzi. Morning, both.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
And we got Andy's mates, Ali, Jos, and Oli on with us as well. Hello to you guys.
Hi.
Hi, Steve.
Morning.
Busy Zoom room this morning. Andy, can I start with you and the motor neurone disease diagnosis? Can you talk to me a little about that and what kind of impact it had on you?
Yeah, so it's something that started probably 2 or 3 years ago. There are lots of confounding things going on at the time. So initially, it was thought to be something else. I ended up having an operation on my ulnar nerve. I had a few symptoms and things around there. So I kind of lived in blissful ignorance probably for about a year or so. And then at the end of that year, it was clear that things were no better. And there were a few red flags that I'd noticed. So that's fasciculation, so twitching in my arms, had got a bit worse. And I noticed a bit more weakness in my hand. So that was where I was climbing with my kids, trying to hold on to some of the handholds and things like that. And Suzi laughs because I lost an arm wrestle at one of the rugby dinners.
He didn't think he should have lost it.
To Ollie's brother, actually.
It wasn't just one, Andy.
Yeah.
and that's when you finally thought, I better go and get this checked out.
Something pathological. Yeah. It's a few moments like that where I just realised I'd lost quite a lot of strength in my hand.
Yeah.
So I had a few more investigations, saw a couple of neurologists, and then unfortunately, it's probably something I'd feared for a few months, but last May, then I was diagnosed with motor neurone disease. That's a pretty tough time. Still feel quite emotional thinking back to it and talking about it now. You kind of go to pretty dark places. There's like crushing sadness with the diagnosis, and it takes a lot of time to kind of grieve and work through that.
Yeah. For people who don't know, it's effectively it's a muscle wasting. It's a wasting disease rather, and it's a terminal diagnosis as well.
Yeah.
I wonder, Suzi, what impact that has on you and the family. You got these 3 sons together.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was completely devastating. I think I think I remained very hopeful that it really wasn't motor neuron disease. Andy, I think, knew for a lot longer, or had it possibly accepted it before I did. And yeah, I mean, we were just utterly devastated. We've got lots of support from wonderful friends and family, which has been amazing. They've been absolutely amazing. The boys, we have explained it for a long while. We didn't want to sort of talk to them, naming it and things. We have explained it to them now, and they're being fab as well, aren't they? So it's, yes, completely devastating, but you've got to have hope through these things. You've got to, the greatest antidote to fear is hope, and you've got to be hopeful. And the charities, the MNDA, and My Name is Doddie, and in the UK, and then there's the IMALS in the US with Brian Wallach and Sandra Wallach. There, things are really moving with the research, and we try and stay hopeful with everything.
We talked on this show just a few months ago about the £50 million I think the government is putting into motor neurone disease research in this country as well. You mentioned the MNDA there, and that's one of the charities that this touch rugby match is raising cash for. Can I let me turn to Ali to bring the rugby players in, although I know, Andy, you'll be playing as well in May, remarkably. So Ali, the background to thinking, well, our mates had this diagnosis, we need to do something for him. I know a day and a half of beach touch rugby. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, I think we were looking at something we could do to, not just raise money for the charities, but also raise awareness about the disease. Actually, it was Andy who came up with the idea for the event. I think at one stage he was looking at running a marathon or doing something like that, but it turns out there is this world record in existence for the longest game of touch rugby. Currently, Hoylake Rugby Club have that world record, which is 33 hours and 33 minutes. We were sort of hoping we might get a new world record because we're doing it on the sand and not grass. Unfortunately, Guinness, well, they did say we can have a new world record, but we still got to break 33 hours and 33 minutes, which was a bit of a...
Anyone who's run on sand knows how inconsiderate that is.
Yeah, so that's the basis of the event, really. So we're starting, the idea is to start at 8 o'clock in the morning on Friday, the 20th of May. And finish all going well sort of 6 p.m. on Saturday the 20th.
And Ollie, you're all there in your Sandbaggers shirts.
Yes.
Andy's just got his Sandbaggers t-shirt on. Didn't get the memo. So it's fair to say that you guys, you've been playing beach touch rugby for a little while now, and actually this network has kind of been a supportive thing for Andy through this.
Yeah, so Andy's actually one of the founding members. So we've been going for about 14 years now. So we've a bunch of friends turning up after work down to the beach once a week in the summer months, and try to play a bit of touch rugby, followed by inevitably a beer and just catching up. So over the years, it's I think it's safe to say it's been quite strong friendships have been forged, and a real sense of community. As you'd expect, when Andy came down and told us about this diagnosis, it affected us all quite deeply, and I really felt that we wanted to do something for Andy and Suzi and the kids. And when Andy then came up, 3 months later with this crazy idea, I think it was, there was no doubt that we were straight in there, and I think illustrated by the fact that I think a call was put out that we needed 22 players within a week. 33 people had put their hands up. Yeah. So all of us were behind him, and it's not just us, but there's communities outside as well who are all sort of coming forward and saying they want to help. So we're right behind those guys, and not just for them, but the charities as well.
How's it going to work, Jos? 34 hours of rugby. I mean, there must be a load of rules about this. Do you have to run consistently throughout that? Are you allowed to just sort of go to a snail's pace?
Well, Guinness are fairly clear on, I guess, to a point, the standard of rugby. We were speaking just yesterday on essentially how we maintain a level of momentum and quality over the best part of 34 hours. So it will be challenging. Are we going to be sprinting the whole time? I think that is probably unlikely. However, Sandbaggers are known for their jazz on the beach, so we'll be delivering high quality rugby throughout, I'm sure.
Excellent. So people can come down and watch Branksome Dene Chine is the plan. And Andy, I mentioned that you're going to be playing as well, which is, I mean, remarkable. We're quite lucky with your motor neurone diagnosis that it seems to be progressing quite slowly.
Yeah. Thankfully, it does seem pretty slow at the moment. So it's mainly affecting my right hand and my right arms, but my legs are pretty strong at the moment. So the handling might be an issue, but hopefully we'll be able to run for the whole time.
Wow. All right. Well, look, May the 20th is when it's happening. If you'd like to find out more, you can search for Sandbaggers on Just Giving. Just before we let you go, Andy, Suzi was mentioning Doddie there, and you've actually had a personal message from him wishing you well already on this quest.
Yeah, he phoned me pretty soon after the diagnosis. One of the boys actually had emailed him, and then I got a phone call from him, and he spoke to me for about a quarter of an hour, and just talked about staying positive, the medicinal qualities of Guinness, and we had a catch up. We'd actually, but he wouldn't have remembered it, but we had shared a drink 20 odd years before in Barbados, so we talked about that trip as well. And just the the humanity, compassion of the man to kind of reach out to someone else who's been diagnosed with it was amazing.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, let's talk again before the event happens, and let's stay in touch over the next few months, certainly. But lovely to see you all this morning. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks very much, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Andy Norton there, diagnosed with motor neurone disease last year, and then his wife Suzi and his Sandbagger friends, who are all playing this beach touch rugby game for somewhere in the region of 34 hours. May the 20th, 21st are the dates at Branksome Dene Beach on Poole Beach. BBC Radio Solent. 17 minutes past 7. Maybe you got a story like that